Okay, so today I'm going to be answering the question, what is 21st century education to me? Well, 21st century education means that schools are exploring ways in which they can incorporate multidimensional frameworks. What I mean by that is that they include disciplines of critical literacy, digital media literacy, multicultural mental health literacy, environment and global literacy, and financial and moral literacy. And lastly, it's also the ability to develop and recognize that there are new literacies, um, and that you have to be comfortable incorporating them into the classroom. For me specifically, mental health and digital literacy are the two disciplines that really speak to me, where I do have a true passion for. Being a future educator myself, I see how essential it truly is for young students to be exposed to mental health and the stereotypes that are associated with it. It is ultimately my job as a professional to acknowledge what mental health is and provide my students with coping mechanisms in a safe space to not only talk about mental health, but to acknowledge the fact that it is okay to talk about it in the hopes to diminish any negative attitudes associated with the term mental health. According to the Canadian Ministry document, mental health literacy can be defined as the knowledge, beliefs, and abilities that enable the recognition, management, or prevention of mental health problems. Mental health literacy has many benefits, which include prevention, early recognition and intervention, and the reduction of stigma associated with mental health, like I mentioned before. I've also attached a link below that describes the literacy and action associated with mental health literacy, where it provides resources, ideas, and suggestions for not only schools but communities as well to learn about resiliency. This program is ultimately meant to support mental health awareness and the stigma associated with it and the initiatives to help promote it. I also mentioned before that digital literacy is also a discipline that holds true value to my personal life and as a professional, because we are in fact in the 21st century and our world does revolve around the use of technology, which is why it's so important that we find a way to incorporate it into the classroom. So digital literacy can be defined as a computing software device, so that's your mobile device, your computer, your iPad, etc., that are used for an educational purpose only. Digital literacy ultimately allows us to learn anytime and anywhere, which is essential in the 21st century educational framework. I also believe that if we do not begin to incorporate digital literacies into our classrooms, students will be left behind, where they won't be able to necessarily get a job that revolves around technology. So I believe that students need to learn how to assimilate information, evaluate it, and regenerate it. So in the link below, I also attached another literacy in action that's called Poplet, and it's basically an online web page that allows students to work independently or as a cohesive group to create their ideas and organize their thoughts in a digital way. Poplet allows students to be in control of their own work, where they have access to this page on any mobile phone or computing device. I actually have identified one problem with digital literacy, specifically Poplet, because some students may not actually have access to any form of digital device. So promoting digital literacy in the classroom is a social good, but we must not overlook the fact that it could potentially cause socioeconomic class differences, resulting in a social bad. So as a future educator, being able to acknowledge this has allowed me to become very aware of my actions in order to create a safe space and equity within the classroom.